Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. All right, so Jackie is ready to get admitted, but I think I'll wait and I'm just going to pass this over to you to make you a host.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to make the others co-hosts.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Got it.
And then, so Julie Throne will not be here. Samantha Chang, she wasn't sure which one. I think she attended last week.
Yes, she did.
And then,
Is she coming back this week or?
yeah,
Okay.
I wasn't sure if she went last week. I thought she said she was, and
She did, yes.
she did. So, in Libby Hall or Elizabeth Dayton, I don't know which one she showed up as in the tracking sheet, but she won't be here today either.
Okay.
Or maybe that's tomorrow. Maybe she wasn't supposed to be here today. I don't remember, but that's why I've noted from. So, all right, it looks like Jackie bounced off. So have fun. Thank you. I'll see you in a little bit. The debrief is on Teams, so I'll just be on there, and then if you guys go over it all, I'll just wait. And
we can just text you. We don't want you to have to, wait around. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just shoot you a text. I still have your number saved from last time. So
thanks, Katie.
No problem. See you in an hour. Bye.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, you look beautiful.
Thank you. I went out to lunch with my mother, so I felt like I had to look halfway presentable.
Nice. I cut my own hair today.
I saw that. Your curls look really good today.
Thank you. I feel like they're gonna look better once I wash them though, because it was still kind of wet when I was cutting it, so it's like kind of, but it looks a little bit better in real life, I promise. It's not that like chunky. Yeah, so anyway.
Last time I got my hair cut, I had like, I don't know, like almost like a tail in the back. Like it was just way longer and I was like.
Anyways, yeah, so I went ahead and added in that the 3 people that spoke, just so, if they say, oh, I liked whoever, we kind of know what they're talking about, keeping ourselves straight there. Lydia, can you hear us? Okay.
She doesn't have oh, there she is. Oh my God, your hair.
That looks so cute.
It's all gone.
It looks really cute. It looks really bouncy.
Thank you.
I know you told us, but I forgot.
Oh, it looks great.
Thank you. It's still like in that weird phase, like right after you get your hair cut and you like hate it completely,
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
It's cute. It looks good on you.
Thank you. Thank you. You're making me feel better.
It looks cute. Oh, also, Kristen was already here. She just handed over how do I make y'all co-hosts? I mean, I guess I'm going to be on the chat anyways. I guess it doesn't really matter, but.
Is it on the like participants list? Like whenever you hover over people's names?
Oh, just kidding. I got it. It's, yeah, when you go to their name, you can click the more button. Did you guys get that notification that you're co-host now?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, so I was just in the waiting room.
Yeah, she was here. She's been here. So I just told Hillary that I put in their like the speakers' names and where they're from and this subsection of 9. Obviously not that big of a deal. Yeah, let me move that real quick. I'm feeling excited. Ready
Yeah,
to get
I
this
think it'll
one
be
through.
good.
So, yeah. I just cut my hair too. I cut
You
it myself.
did?
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll show you. Have you guys seen that 1 minute mullet trend?
The what?
I'm not on TikTok.
Okay, well, basically you can give yourself a mullet yourself. And so I did, even though I already had layers and I only cut the end. I cut maybe like 2 inches off. So it wasn't as drastic as some people's were. But I definitely have some like shorter pieces in the back that I wasn't quite expecting, but they like settled in.
Cute.
It's not quite as dramatic as Lydia's either.
Did you say 1 minute mullet?
Yeah, it's called 1 minute mullet. Look it up.
Did it take you 1 minute?
Yeah, honestly, I did it. The thing was my hair was too thick for the scissors that I used, but I went and I recut my little facial framing bangs.
Cute. Yeah, I will say the scariest noise was like it was in a ponytail and she went like and it took like a solid minute for her to like cut through all of it. I was like, oh my God.
How much did you donate?
I think it was 11 inches.
Nice.
Wow, that's amazing. What's the minimum to donate? Is it 8? Something like
It
that?
like depends like what organization you use. But the
Mhm.
minimum is usually like 8, but they prefer longer because like people want longer hair pieces, I guess. So
Makes sense.
okay,
I'm
I'm
going
taking
to-
notes, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
The one person in the waiting room was freaking me out.
They're so early. Oh my God. Like you never see that.
I joined Zooms the minute it began.
No, because like if you're in person, like you can make small talk and it's okay, but like somehow like small talk on Zoom is like so much worse. It's just so
It's
awkward.
just awkward.
I don't know. I'm always nervous that I'm gonna have like I think it's because I come from an area with like just constantly bad Wi-Fi, but I'm always concerned that I'm gonna have a last minute technical difficulty. So I'm always
Okay.
on Zooms like 10 minutes early. I don't know. There's like it hasn't happened yet. I think I was in the wrong place once, but other than that,
I think my Wi-Fi's been okay so far.
that's good. Yeah, I haven't had any issues like with your video or anything in these meetings.
Well, there was a minute. So U-House Wi-Fi like sucks.
That makes
And
sense.
there was like a minute where I just like could not like I had to get an Ethernet cable because I just could not like take video meetings at all. Like for a good for like a good I don't know like month before I caved in.
Oh, should we do the same order and introducing ourselves as we did last time with the lead and then the note taker and then the chat monitor? Oh, there's another person just awaiting.
Yeah, so I guess me then Lydia.
Yep.
Sounds good. Me writing a little script for the introduction in my notes app because I don't trust myself.
That was me last time. I had like bullet points. It was like welcome them, tell them to turn on camera.
Like I know that we have it all in the doc already, but I'm like I need to write it again.
Yeah, I like it in a way that I want to see it, you know?
Yeah, if it's not written how I like can process it, I won't. So
My brain really just like will not compute stuff sometimes, and it's just like, good luck.
I'm going to my first Braves game today.
Wait, exciting.
is it the Pirates?
I have no idea. That's not the point.
The point is that you're going to a game, and that's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Katie, you're going to so many different sports things.
It's because nobody wants to go at this point, so they're all really cheap. That's why I'm going. So like one of my friends like had tickets and they were like $37 tickets, and he was like, "I'll give them to you for 15." And I was like, "All right,
Nice. Yeah.
that's just a deal." Of course, it's
Yeah.
gonna cost like more than the tickets to park, but that's just the way the game goes, I guess. Just ATL things. Also, I hate that you can't take Marta out there.
It's the stupidest situation.
So
I
sad.
haven't gone to a Braves game since they moved. My family was like, "We're boycotting."
I haven't ever gone to a Braves game, but I also don't understand how baseball works.
Yeah, me neither. I just like I've never lived close enough for it to be worth it, and none of my family was that into sports. So
The last baseball game I went to was in the 8th grade. It was a band field trip. It was
nice.
for the Rome Braves, so like minor league baseball.
Yeah.
I had
Not
no
a-
idea what I was doing. I was just like, woo, I guess. Like, I don't know what an inning is.
Yeah, baseball is just very long. Like if it's an interesting game, it can be interesting, but like sometimes they just drag on.
Yeah, that's the good thing about this. Instead of taking like someone who actually cares about sports, I'm taking Julia. So whenever we get bored, we can just leave.
Oh, you're going with Julia. Great. Wonderful.
Because when I went with Brent, I was there for like 3 hours. I was like, I'm gonna go home.
I would stay for basketball. I at least understand what's going on in basketball.
Yeah, but it was, I don't know. It was really boring to me. I liked they had a section about their outfits, which I thought was fun.
Hit check.
Yeah, it was literally like a fit check, and they had like their faces blurred out, and then they had like little facts about them, and you had to guess based off their fit and their facts.
Interesting. I like the Georgia Tech basketball games. That's probably my favorite sport to go to.
College basketball is also nice because it's shorter.
I love college basketball, and I think that's just because I'm in the band, and so like we get really into college basketball. We have our little like inside jokes and stuff, and so like I like that. I've never watched a game like outside of the band though, so
Yeah, football is too hot and slow and boring, and we're bad.
yeah,
Volleyball can be
football's so
fun.
long. You don't like volleyball? I love our women's volleyball are
No, they
awesome.
can be good. Like we have a good volleyball team.
Mhm.
Ish. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They did really well last year.
How many people are we supposed to have for this focus group?
She said that two out of the original people weren't coming, and so I'm not sure. We can go back and look at the invite. She said that only two had gotten back to her and said they weren't coming. I'm gonna wait until like 4:01 to let them in, if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so we have 3 people and it looks like 14 were invited.
Okay, it's all good.
We had what, 6 last time?
Yeah, and they just came in like a second late, which is what it is.
There was a painting up on the wall behind me, but it was this.
Oh, but that's cute.
Yeah, but it was just like the bottom half like poking out and I was like,
All
maybe.
right, I'm gonna let them in. Are you ready, Hillary?
Yeah, that's fine. Hi, y'all. We're just going to wait a couple more minutes to see who else shows up. All right, hopefully we have some more people joining us in a couple of minutes, but I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So hi everyone, thank you guys so much for being here with us today. I know that the end of the school year can be really hectic, so I'm thankful that you guys are taking the time out of your day to join us. And thank you for keeping your cameras on. Obviously, we wish that we could be doing these focus groups in person, but over Zoom is our next best option. I'd like to start with some introductions. So first, my name is Hillary Dong, and I am a third-year public policy and history major at Georgia Tech.
Hi, I'm Lydia. I'm going to be taking notes today. Lydia Wiederholt. I'm a third-year public policy major at Georgia Tech as well.
Hey everyone, my name is Katie Marchese. I am a third year at Georgia Tech studying public policy and history, and I will be moderating the chat today.
Great. We'd also like to get some introductions from y'all. So if we could go down the list of Zoom participants and get you guys to say your name, your organization or school district, what you teach, and either what you're looking forward to this summer or the craziest thing that's happened in the last year, that would be great. So yeah, just whoever wants to chime in first.
Oh, hi, my name is Jackie Elder. I'm from the Clark County School District in Athens, Georgia. I teach science, human anatomy and physics most recently. And the craziest thing that happened is that we had like a tornado watch. So I had my first period and then all the students had to go home after that. And then we were told to go home. So I thought that was like a very crazy day.
I'm Laura Lambert. I teach in the Newton County School District that's in Covington, Georgia. I am a biotechnology teacher and I also teach AP biology. In general, this year has been pretty crazy, but this summer I'm looking forward to finally having some time off. So.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Felicia Forbes and I'm from the Cameron County School District. I teach at Metter High School in Metter. And I teach biotech and chemistry. Well, we've been face to face the whole time. I don't know what to say. It's been, at times I felt like I was risking my life to teach, but we made it through. This will be the last week. Not so sure what I'm gonna do this summer, but I do plan to take some time off to relax.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much. So the purpose of today's focus group is to gain some feedback on the Rural Teacher Training Initiative to determine whether or not the program is worthwhile and how we can improve it. This is an opportunity for you guys to expand on the feedback that you guys provided in the survey, address anything that wasn't mentioned in the survey, and just generally discuss any thoughts and feelings you guys have about the training. So a couple of ground rules. This focus group shouldn't take more than an hour. We're going to try to make sure that we don't go over time so that you guys can get on with your day. As with any discussion, please let a person finish their thought or their explanation before chiming in. This session will be recorded, but it'll only be available to the evaluation team, which is me, Katie, and Lydia, to refer back to. Once we've completed our evaluation, the recording will be deleted and the Bioed Institute staff will not have access to or be able to review the recording. None of the participants will be identified to the Bioed Institute staff or the master instructors. The information from the session will be aggregated by the evaluation team. Again, that's us. And then it'll be handed over to the Bioed Institute staff. Before we proceed, does anyone have any questions about procedures today or about any of the ground rules? If not, then I guess we can get started. So the first question that I'd like to ask, so how has the biotech infusion, the going viral training affected your teaching? So this can include any aspect of it, the virtual training series, the equipment and supply assistance, the Google Drive, master instructor support, or the GroupMe?
I can go ahead. I will say I have a very well-equipped biotechnology lab, but something that I did appreciate through the Going Viral program is that I could try out labs first before I actually decided if I wanted to implement them in my curriculum or not and spend my money on those. So that was an aspect that I really appreciated, was being provided one of the labs that we did in the course of our multi-week training.
One thing I liked about the whole program was that it really kept me focused, and it brought me together with teachers who had similar focuses. Like there's a teacher here in agri-science who also liked the biotech, and it was nice to work with her and then meet another agri-science teacher over at our sister school, Clark Central. And then we met a middle school teacher. So it was nice to come together during the COVID thing and meet and do the DNA stuff together, which I really liked, and figure out how we were going to introduce it to the kids and everything. So I like that. It kept me focused on a goal. I was still doing my professional development, learning something new, looking at the advances in the field. So that was the thing that was most meaningful, just making those connections around this topic that can be a little bit difficult in terms of logistics and how to get the equipment. And also in the program providing the equipment. So it was, you guys had a platform, you were able to get it out to us, and then we all came together to try to make it happen, which was great.
Okay, and I'll say I enjoyed the virtual training that we received. It was very refreshing to try the different labs that we did. And I was really excited to find out about the mini PCR. And I actually used, I was actually able to twist, twist the arm of the head of our CTAE program to actually order me a mini PCR 16 one, and the blue gel, whatever it's called, but the gel that goes along with that. Okay. And I actually was able to use it with my kids. And I think it was very exciting about the mini PCR having the app that you can use on your phone. And it really gave my kids, they were very excited about that because they're so into technology. So, and I really like the BioBits lab is what I actually did with my kids. And I was grateful for all the equipment loan for that. And I think it was able to help curriculum wise, because I didn't have anything to really do, a lab to do for the DNA chapter that I usually teach for GNA. And so it was very refreshing, a new lab to actually implement into the curriculum for me.
Great. Also, so what are your thoughts on the essential skills and competencies covered in the training? I know you guys mentioned a couple aspects of this for the Going Viral training. These essential skills and competencies included lab safety, aseptic technique, pipetting, solution making, gel electrophoresis, and the PCR. So any thoughts you have on that?
I think the virtual format made it a little bit limiting to be able to really demonstrate true like competency with those skills. But I would say in general, all of those skills were covered in our different sessions, and it allowed people who maybe didn't have as much experience with those different techniques to begin to develop them. But I wouldn't say that it was an opportunity to master those techniques, but it was certainly an opportunity to develop them along the way.
It was nice to meet in a group that, it wasn't very like a scary group or anything, where you can ask plenty of questions and they can show you how to use all the equipment and stuff. And even with the pipetting. Like I remember we were all trying to figure out the pipetting, like whether the first stop or the second stop, which one to use. So it was nice to be able to come together and just learn the pipetting because we knew that's what the students would go through, and learn how to make the gel and load the gel. So I appreciate that they provided a visual, and the visuals are so very important because when I read the manual, like the manual helps some, but it's so good just to see like a video of it. So, because that helps you to connect that with the reading so that you can go ahead and try to perform it, because at least you can freeze the video multiple times and go over that sequence. But we're doing it in person is the best. I mean, I would never, ever replace that. I mean, coming together and doing this in person, like say if we got to actually meet Kristen and Megan and all the people part of the program, and we were in a lab pipetting together after school or something, or over the summer, like in Atlanta somewhere, that would have been like the most fun. I would have really enjoyed that if we had a week out there. I would have think that was the coolest thing. But you know, the way we did it in our schools was fine too, you know, and with the videos, those really helped as well.
All right. Any more thoughts on this? If not, we can move on to the next one. All right, so have you started incorporating, or do you think that you might incorporate any of the essential skills and competencies from the training into your lessons? Did you already do this before the training?
Being a biotechnology teacher, all of those competencies are already included in my curriculum, but it was nice to learn ways that other teachers taught the same topics. And yeah, I definitely have already implemented some of the things that we've learned and have plans to implement them next school year when that particular topic comes up.
I actually, this was the first time I got to implement this. I did this years ago, right? But it was really makeshift. All I had was food coloring. We made the gel, and I was just basically showing them how to pipette, trying to simulate a DNA gel by creating a gel. We had a gel electrophoresis that I borrowed from the AP Bio, and I just put food coloring in it and ran it so they can see. And then we watched the video to back it up just to see the process. But this time we actually did it. I and a student had done this. We ran the whole gel, you know, during the COVID, I had a lot online. So online watch, and we had like 2 students working on it. And it came out beautifully. We saw the gel, we went through the process. The students picked up so quickly. I was shocked. Like I didn't know that, you know, she's really, I mean, very kinesthetic. I mean, picked up fast. So she'd be brilliant at the lab. And she actually made a decision to go into biotech if she could. So it really worked out well. I just really feel that, I don't know, I'm going to actually use this in summer school. I'm teaching summer school this summer since we had been pretty much, we were virtual up until the last 2 months, like March, April, and May. Last few months we were finally face-to-face, but more students were online. So we're going to have a lot of kids coming for summer school, and we're going to actually be teaching. It won't be the Edgenuity E2020 thing where they learn on a computer. So I'm going to install it for summer school. So we got a lot out of it. It's going to actually make a difference here, because now I'll put it in my biological labs like human anatomy, environmental science, or anything where I'm going to have that thing in chemistry or even in physics, because, you know, physics is related to bio. So I'll just bring that with me anywhere I go. So it's very useful.
Yeah, I have to agree with Laura. It's probably all of this probably in my curriculum for all of the essential skills and competencies, but really to have new different types of ways to actually use them was good for me, and to listen to different things that other teachers are doing. So I can incorporate some new things there.
With the skills and competencies that you guys have implemented, I know that you guys were talking about the gel electrophoresis. How do you feel like the students were more engaged with what you guys had implemented from the training?
I would say definitely, because I have like the girl and guy who did this. They were kind of, it was the last few weeks of school. They were kind of not as, focused or engaged as much. But then when I whipped that out and the whole thing, they all jumped up, they all came over, they started pipetting, doing everything, learning. I mean, they really liked it. It made a big difference. So this is something, it's like something that we could do. It's something that's cool and hip, and they can connect it with CSI. So I would definitely plug, it's just gonna be my thing where I just put that in every science. It really does brighten up the classroom and brighten up their interest or get them more.
Yeah, and going along with the skills and competencies, have you already or do you plan to implement one of the labs from the training? Why or why not?
Yes, a lot of the labs that we did in the training, I actually already have part of my curriculum, but especially some of the mini PCR labs, I plan to switch over from the supplier I normally use for those types of labs to mini PCR, because through the training, I got to see how much more teacher friendly mini PCR's labs are compared to the other supplier that I use. So that was a really valuable part of the training, is to not just do the labs themselves, but to be able to have interactions with the like the team at Mini PCR, for them to walk us through it from their perspective and for them to provide us with all the teacher materials was really important. So yes, implementing several of the labs from the training, but especially the ones from Mini PCR.
I would definitely use the labs because that's all I would know or have access to right now. So I would definitely have to go with what you guys have printed there. I like the food lab. That worked out well. The students understood that right away. They were able to pick out the one that was infected, and that can be for general education students, my special education students. It can hit everyone. And that's the most important thing for me, to find labs that can hit the general population. We don't have to, say if the kid is not, an AP oriented student or advanced placement or advanced or anything. Say if they're a struggling learner, like say if they're special education or they're a regular student, whoever it is, that they have access to this kind of information, these kinds of labs, and are able to understand it. And so, or they might even become techs, they might get their associate's degrees and become techs. And that might be as far as they think to go, or they might go farther, but they might go a little slowly, to get their bachelor's. But at least if they can get these fundamentals and learn it early, it will set them up for getting access into these careers on whatever level, because this career needs every level of worker, from your technicians, just pipetting and, sorting and organizing and doing certain things, to maybe someone doing more advanced theoretical thinking. So, I mean, if we can just get everyone to participate and learn, we'll see what falls out, and, try to get people to fill every seat on every level of biotech.
Okay, as I said earlier, I have used I've already utilized the BioBits lab, and I'm planning on, like Laura, trying to use more of the mini PCR labs this time. Because I did think it was, one thing in particular I thought was good was with that lab, they had the SIR, the claims, evidence, and reasoning, which I've been trying to use to get the kids to really focus on writing better lab reports. So very helpful, I think, for the kids, and even the directions I even felt were much better than some of the others I used from some other companies. So I'll definitely be implementing those labs, especially into the biotech curriculum that I have.
Great. Do you guys have any suggestions about ways that we could make it easier to help implement the labs? For example, if there was any way to align it better to the school or course curriculum, or offering training at a different time of year?
Training in the summers.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jackie.
Oh, I was gonna say more trainings in the summers. Like if you had a week training wherever you guys are at, we'd love to come out there. It's nice to kind of work with the professionals, see it through, and maybe if we could bring a student, a student or two, that could be their week of maybe some kind of internship where they can get some kind of, write them a letter of reference or some kind of certificate that they participated. Like maybe teacher bring a student or students to the forum and the training, and then we all learn. And maybe make student ambassadors or something, that they are a big biotech ambassador. So when the teacher and the 2 or 3 students come back, those students could actually help out in the course, or we can make it some kind of work internship or something during the semester.
Yeah, Jackie, actually right before COVID last year, they had a training in Griffin. Were you able to go to that? No, see, that's exactly what you just described, is like we went for a few days. It wasn't a week, but it was a couple days. And there were like the master instructors there, and we did the labs. But I totally agree that having a student or 2 there would be really, I think, really powerful. For me, I think there's not a lot of biotech curriculum stuff available in general. For the essentials and applications of biotechnology class that are part of the pathway, there's pretty much nothing out there about like how to format your class and how to plan it. And so the labs that we did in Going Viral, I could implement in my biotech classes, and I could implement them in my biology classes. But I know for other people that maybe don't have as much experience doing these labs, it would probably make them more comfortable with it if there was a point in the curriculum to say, hey, you should do this right then when you're teaching them about central dogma. This would be a great time to do the lab. And maybe having just more concrete examples of how to incorporate the labs in the curriculum, I think would be helpful.
I agree with that. That would be helpful to know exactly where, because that's what I was doing when I was looking at the bio bits that was doing the translation, the transcription, translation, the central dogma. I kind of needed something there when I was teaching the DNA and that part. I think it was more seeing the color changes for the kids was really like key to seeing like what did it really happen. I think for them, that's what they told me. They could actually see what they had. Then I had what we had was interesting, like somebody's data didn't work exactly like we expected it to. So then we had the way to talk through what really happens to scientists in the laboratory, like things like that happen. You ask the question why, like what could have gone wrong, what parameters or what things in the environment that could have caused your data to go in what we actually say the wrong direction. But sometimes I've had to say a lot of times in my essentials class, if you didn't get the what we expected, at least you've learned some skills, right? Like you learn how to pipette, you learn how to do certain skills, and getting some of these essential skills that we need. You at least got that if it didn't turn out exactly the way we wanted. Because like a scientist in a real lab would probably keep repeating and repeating and repeating, right? But we, for the sake of time in the classroom, wouldn't be able to do that. But you did get, that was my thing this time, was something that you did get some skills if you didn't see exactly what. And we don't change our data as scientists. We have to use what we have, right? So those were good learning experiences too, I think, for that. But I do agree with that. If I actually know as a teacher where I could put the lab, like what part of my curriculum, I could put that'd be very helpful, so I can move on. Lots of times we have to think about that as teachers and see, for ourselves, kind of takes a while to figure where to put it.
Yeah, thank you for that. Did the training introduce you to any equipment that you didn't consider using in class before the training? This can be small, such as disposable pipettes, the microcentrifuge tubes, well plates, or it can be larger items like the pipettes, a digital scale, microcentrifuge, water bath, incubator. It could also be like the thermocyclers or the gel electrophoresis chambers, really any equipment that you were exposed to during the training.
Pretty much all of everything that you said. I'm like looking at it over on my corner there. We didn't have, see, the thing is the AP Bio, they kind of have access to that stuff. They have this and they have like a few pieces. And so I teach mostly regular and stuff. So we try not to mess with their stuff unless I really have a protocol set up. So we didn't get to use it a whole bunch of times. So by me personally, as a regular teacher, having access to this anytime I want it is great. And without the danger of breaking it or messing it up for, the AP students who have to have it because it's part of their curriculum and that's what they need, versus me using it, on occasion, this gives me access to whenever I want it. I can grab it. I can carry it with me anywhere I go. I can infuse it in summer school. I can infuse it in like a community program when parents come about. I can do like on parent teacher night, whip it out. I can pull it and let them see the DNA stuff or here, like right in the lab, any class I teach, it's technology, it has physics components in it, chemistry, biology, it hits all three, engineering, so it's something it's tools that I did not have as part of my lab before that were expensive, that I'd have to borrow on occasion if I had something firm that I was doing, not just willy-nilly, you're trying to experiment stuff. So it's something that I have for all students who have access, that everybody, no matter what level you're on, can have access to that equipment.
Yeah, thank you for that. Any other thoughts on this? If not, we can move on. All right. Did any of you have like a wow moment during the training or during the implementation of the training?
Oh, can you repeat the question?
Did you have a wow moment, like a moment where everything just clicked or something really stood out to you? Were there any of those moments during the training or during the implementation?
I think I had my biggest wow moments when we had our guest speakers closer to some of our first sessions. Like we heard from a lady from LabQuest, and I actually ended up reaching out to her to speak to our HOSA chapter because I, liked what she said so much. And then we also had a professor from UGA's poultry science program speak. And I thought hers was like really interesting because you could see the applied science behind the basic techniques that we were learning. So if there was any way to have more of the guest speakers from the actual academia or from research, I think that would just elevate the program even more.
One thing I have to say is my students' reaction. When I brought my students up to run this gel, first it shocked me how fast this student picked up. I mean, she was like just really gifted with her hands and her figuring. And like there was one part I forgot, that this was her first time even touching this stuff. she was able to pick up like that. So she connected with the technology so fast and was pipetting that day, which really scared me because I had never seen anybody pick up so fast in my life like that. So I was grateful of that. And so just her reaction and her wanting to get into biotech just upon grabbing, just seemed natural. So that was the biggest aha moment, that I've got to get this out there for the kids to try and see if they can work with the equipment. And then another thing that shocked me is with when Miss Boskin and Mahifi, they were mentioning quality controls, job careers in biotech, like I'd never thought of, like quality control and all the different kinds of jobs in biotech. That was an aha moment for me. And I have to say, I did not know what I did not know, or I didn't know what was out there. So I didn't even know to teach it, like the different careers in biotech that a student can do. Opportunities at our Athens Technical Community College. You can get an associate's in biotech and then go right over and work in quality control and then move up, and what SOP, SCOP or SIOP, SIOP, I forget the name, SOPs, and what that means and how to write one and how I can infuse that in my curriculum. So that was the aha moment there, which I wish I can have more professional development on. And like in terms of, like if I see those SOPs, I can teach my students to write them, embed them in the curriculum, but you don't know what you don't know if we don't have that exposure in biotech, even a day, even a day to see what they do, to spend time in quality control. Those jobs that the students would access first would probably entry level would be quality control, some kind of, something where, and or companies, like where are they going to get hired? Is it just going to be, there's one, I forget the name of, there's one company, I keep saying Kaigen, but it's not Kaigen. It's a company in Atlanta, Quest Diagnostics, that hires a lot of people. Like, where do I send them? How do they put in their application? What do they want for qualifications, stuff like that. So that was my aha moment, just the jobs and what's out there and what I could be doing in here to mirror what they're doing.
I was excited about the extra the speakers that came in to talk. Like Laura was, I really got an application. That's what I'm trying to do more, trying to get an application to the real world and jobs and things that people are doing in biotech. So that was kind of an aha moment for me. So more of that, I would enjoy more of the guest speakers too, to find out more things that we have. And it was good that it was people here in Georgia. I'm trying to get the kids to see what we have available in Georgia, especially with biotech. In my area, there's not many, because we're down in southeast Georgia, so it's not many companies or anything that I could really take them to. I like to do field trips, like I did one today at the beach, but I would like to go see companies and get them really involved to see somebody really doing biotech. But hopefully when things open up, we'll be able to do that, to make some connections for the kids with careers too.
Yeah, so the incorporation of the industry speakers into the training had a few purposes. These were to introduce teachers to some of the life science industries in Georgia, to convey the relevancy of the classroom curriculum to internship and career potentials, serve as a platform for introductions towards a start between a relationship between educators and industry, and for industry to be able to directly communicate to teachers what's needed in regards to skills in that industry. I know you guys have spoken a lot about the industry speakers. Do you feel like those goals were reached? If so, which ones? Do you have any suggestions about how we could improve the industry speakers to make sure that we accomplish those goals? Yeah, give Katie just a second and she'll get those in. There they are.
I absolutely think that the program achieved these goals. Like I said, after Miss Hudson from Quest Diagnostics spoke to our group, I later reached out to her about speaking to our school individually. So definitely completed the goal of to serve as a platform for introductions between industry and educators. I especially think that the first goal was met, given that I wouldn't even have considered poultry science as a part of Georgia's biotechnology industry, but it absolutely is, given that Georgia is like one of the top 3 poultry providers in the world. And yeah, I think that overall, all of these goals were met in some way by the program.
Yeah, I agree that they were met also. When I looked at them, I think they were met by the program, all the goals. Yeah.
Yes, I feel like all the goals were met. They did introduce us to some of the life science industries within Georgia. They did show how it's relevant to the classroom curriculum. And it shows me that I have to do some more curriculum development along those lines. That part is stuff I have to do. I have to work at as I learn what's out there. To serve as a platform for introductions as the start toward a relationship, you definitely did that. And for industry to directly communicate to teachers what needs are in regards to skills, I definitely feel that was done, and hope that they send newsletters out or something so that can continue. Like we can join a little newsletter and then see what's out there. And if they come up with a nifty way of us doing a lab, or give us more labs or things we could do in the classroom, or say, or, like a little, how they do like a little fun video. This is an SOP, or this is how you make a so-and-so, maybe some kind of YouTube or something that's ongoing, that maybe that's easy, that's translatable, that we can just implement right in the classroom. Something quick, fun, a Twitter or anything.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. What did you guys take away from the industry guest speakers that you've shared with your students, and what were your general takeaways in regards to careers in the life science industry in general? Is there any more that you wish was offered? I know that you just mentioned having something for the students. Was the material information that you guys were already aware of?
For me, the information from researchers in the field was not stuff that I was immediately aware of. I can't say that I have an interest in things like poultry science, or, we had another speaker, I can't remember what he was talking about specifically. I don't have my notes in front of me, but it was something that, again, I would have never thought to have linked to our biotechnology or biology classes. I did not, however, do a great job of sharing that information with my students, because we were kind of past that point in our particular class. But I definitely have plans to incorporate that stuff within our program. Let me see if I can find it on the list. Oh yeah, Mark McKinley. He was the one that spoke about the global public health. And that was actually quite fitting for my biology class at the time, because they were working on a project related to communicable and non-communicable diseases. So I did share pieces of his speech, or his session, with my 9th grade biology students.
And I liked when Quest Diagnostics was there, because I think that prompted us talking about the kind of jobs that are out there for our kids that just graduate, and that there's a place for everyone. Like, say, if you just get an associate's degree in biotech, you can get in there. You don't necessarily have to have the bachelor's degree, and you can work on your bachelor's while you're in there doing some of the stuff. In general, takeaways that I found were that, you know, there's a lot of translation education that needs to go on. There's translation medicine, but there's also translation education, taking stuff from the biotech companies and translating it into something that students can do on their benches. Stuff that it made me aware of. It made me aware that I need to connect with careers, the names of careers. They might have new names. Like I didn't know what an SOP was. I keep mentioning that word because I never knew what it was. That they have quality control. I thought that meant just checking the temperatures on the refrigerators and making sure the thermostats were okay, and you know, maybe looking at the media to make sure that, you know, the media was good. But it's more than that, you know, what quality control is and how important it is for a biotech company, you know. So I need to know some updates. I don't know if they have like a regular channel you can watch to see what they do, so you can bring it in the classroom or send students to watch. But you know, tours would be great if they had tours where they can take student groups through, so we can see, you know, if they did tours. I'd appreciate a tour of any biotech company. Even if they, like we can take a school bus, but if they had a bus to bring us in, or I like that Georgia biotech bus. The biotech bus that goes around that you can rent is crucial for that, as it goes into certain places that might not have access to biotech things, you know, so, and doing stuff on the biotech bus. So all of that is very helpful, you know, just to even be made aware and connect with, you know, these companies continually.
Well, I had my my biotech students in the Essentials class do a careers project, and then I'm able to talk to them about different careers and some of the things that I've done. I actually had to tell some of my students that I was doing the virtual training because I have something to stay after school to, and I say you have to leave at a certain point because for extra help and stuff. So then they're curious about what from what I learned, and I try to tell them to be lifelong learners. So I have shared with them some of the careers that we've had introduced to us, and I think nobody, including myself, knew about the poetry. The lady was talking about the poetry, and that we were so big in Georgia with that.
Great, thanks so much. Do you guys have you made any plans to take your students on a field trip or bring a professional into the classroom as a result of this experience? Or do you think that you might use any of these guest speaker recordings in your classroom?
I plan on bringing guest speakers in for biotech. I also am going to do an externship this summer, hopefully in USDA, in their research labs. They'll let me in.
I would love to do a biotech tour. I would love to take my students and tour them so they can see the companies. I think we have quite a few out here, and I have to talk to Ms. Throne maybe about that, if it's possible for us to tour the biotech side of USDA. So she and I will probably get together on that one, but I would love to do a tour, to take my kids through a tour of those biotech companies and get introduced to careers. Like what are the careers now? What are the careers today in biotech? What degree do you have to have? What skills do you have to have? Can you start them off in high school? You know, I would love to know what those are. Also, this new thing they've got called micro credentialing. Like you can go ahead and professionally train yourself, watch some videos, participate in some kind of online thing when you get a certificate. Maybe if it's something out there, maybe the student can start in high school micro credentialing themselves in what the biotech company wants. You know, we do have Career Academy, we do have all of these things set up where they can get some biotech experience here at school. but even like specifics with what the company wants, if they had something called micro credentialing, where you watch some videos, participate somewhere, the kid can get a certificate in high school, which could set them up for possibly, you know, getting a job there. So micro credentialing, they're offering that to teachers, but I'm thinking for students or for anybody interested in biotech or any field, that micro credentialing could set somebody up to plan early so they can be ready to walk into a job like and be able to have some specific skills for that job. And that's based off the kid's own motivation.
I think the students seeing this firsthand, as in a field trip, or even bringing the speakers into the classroom and having them show the students what they do. A couple years ago, I had a visiting scientist, and the man worked for USDA, but he brought in so much stuff. He had his little minivan filled up with all kinds of activities for the students, and the kids loved it. But he did all these science activities with the students during the class, from setting fire to something, having the Madagascar hissing cockroaches. But if they see it face to face, it might be easier to bring it to them than take them to it.
Great, thanks so much. If there's no more thoughts on this, we can move on. So what are your thoughts on the use of the Google Drive and the GroupMe as platforms for support and community building, and also resource storage? Do you have any suggestions about how we could improve that?
Anytime to make an update, just send us an email, let us know that an update has been made to the Google Drive. We just added this new feature or something. So to remind us that it's building, it's changing, and it's there.
Well, that's a good idea. So we can remember.
I like having everything on the Google Drive. I think it's easy access for most everybody, if not everybody.
Yes, I agree. It is. It's good to have it all there in one place.
I think the only suggestion I would make for the Google Drive is that it was organized into subfolders.
Sounds good. Any thoughts on the GroupMe at all? Did you guys like that? Is there another platform you might prefer over the GroupMe?
I actually forgot what that is, so I have to refresh my memory on what the GroupMe is. So I don't know if I missed that part, but I'd have to find out what that is.
I don't remember using GroupMe.
We used GroupMe at the very beginning. I honestly turned off my GroupMe because I was getting endless notifications. It was like a messaging thing that we were using. I think something different to use might be Slack or a Discord server. That way you don't have to, like, it's not on your phone. And so you could check back at it periodically to see what discussions were had. Maybe some kind of forum might be better. I was getting annoyed with the messages, so I uninstalled GroupMe on my phone.
I guess I never signed up for it, and that's why.
Yeah, I had it, but I don't remember getting a lot of messages. So I don't know what happened. I used it anyway for other things.
Yeah, that's all really good feedback to hear. To know that if you guys aren't using a platform, then we should be doing something different. So our last question for today, do you feel that the training was worth your time? Was there anything that wasn't covered in the training that you had hoped would be covered? Basically, just any suggestions you have if you feel like the training was worthwhile. We just want to hear your thoughts on that.
I absolutely think the training was worth my time. I felt like I learned a lot. I got to collaborate with other educators, which is always really valuable. The biggest thing that I would change about the program moving forward is if there were maybe two groups, people who maybe didn't have as much experience in biotech, if they had their own focus group, and then those of us that like teach biotech and need some more advanced techniques and advanced lab skills. That was be my biggest recommendation for the program, is to separate it out, not necessarily by ability, but about what would better fit your classroom needs.
Yeah, I like what Laura was saying, because for me, like, I would put this in every single course I teach, you know, as some kind of, you know, something connected to physics, biology, chemistry, anything. So the students will get the training and then talk about careers. So mine would be a wide or broad ranged focus on it, and even just some fundamental skills in biotech, just to run the gel and see the DNA and maybe ask questions and talk about basic technology would be fantastic. Learn about careers and jobs in the field would be wonderful. One thing, this thing was definitely worth doing. I would do this again. Actually, I feel like I need to do it again to learn more. The only thing I wish they could do is more exposure to the biotech. Like, I know it was COVID, but I hope that one day they can get us a tour or something in the summer where we could walk through and see the new stuff now and today, to see what's happening, and talk to somebody about, like, what is this, what is that? And like, for a high school student, say with a high school diploma, or somebody with an associate's degree, what job are they going to get? And how can we prepare them for that? Other than that, I thought the program was just my speed. It was perfect. In fact, I still feel like there's still some areas I need to brush up on, and I'd love to do something like this again in the future.
I think they did a great job with the virtual. I know that was very, very difficult not to do it face to face, and having to ship everything out to the participants, and putting everything together. So they came through in a really tough situation, and it was absolutely valuable training.
Yeah, the training was definitely worth my time, I think. Just the collaboration with other teachers, especially if you don't have other teachers around you that's actually teaching what you're teaching, especially at biotech. For me, is that case. In chemistry, I try to reach out to other teachers, other places, to get new ideas and see what other people are doing too. So I think it was absolutely great, and I learned a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. So that wraps up our questions for today. If you have anything else you'd like to share with us, feel free to stay on. But if not, we're gonna let y'all go. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for participating in our focus group today.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Okay.
Nice job, Hillary.
We did it.
I'm gonna shoot her a text. 1 second. She wanted us to jump over to that Teams call. So
Okay.
go
Teams.
ahead and do that.
Okay.
Cool.
See you guys in Teams. Bye-bye.
See ya.